Let's see it. Others have recorded too. So the key to to open houses is really trying to engage them and at the open house. And so how you engage them and try to establish rapport with them is going to the most important part is when you are in front of them at the open houses. And as Kathy knows, I talk about this is our business was built on open houses because I have a tendency to do better in front of people than I do over the phone and social media, all that kind of stuff. I do best when I'm in front of somebody. And so the thing that I'm always trying to do is and I start an open house um, talking about anything other than real estate. Just, I'll see them drive up in a certain car and I'll make a comment on their car. Hey, is that a stick shift or an automatic? Hey, is that the four banger or the six cylinder? Or they'll be wearing a pair of shoes that I like. And I'll say, oh man, are those Jordan 1 breads? But I'll talk about anything other than that because what I'm trying to do is just get their defenses down and take out friction from the conversation, from any of the interaction. Okay. So you're probably thinking, well, Dave, you're not answering my question. You talk about everything but what I'm asking about. That is the most important part to develop that rapport. And if you don't develop that rapport right up front with them, I don't care what you do after that fact, they're not going to respond. But so are you texting them, calling, and emailing? Are you doing all three?
The email part is through Lofty, and I do most of texting and calling.
Is that also through Lofty? Because I know that's a capability and that's what you should be doing. Otherwise, you're sending, you know, things from different places. You should be texting, emailing, and making your calls because you can make calls from Lofty,
Yes.
just like we do in Follow Up Boss. So there's consistency with numbers and stuff. For me, Dave, yeah, I mean, you got to remember why people come to open houses in the first place. They either were sent there by their agent, so they don't want to talk to you. And those may be the ones that they may tell you that, or they're just going to walk around the house and not interact with you, right? The other is because they don't want a realtor. So if this house is like magical and you have a magical connection, there's a shot at getting that house sold, right? So those are right off the bat, those are the people that come to an open house. After that, 1, 2, 3 follow-ups is not going to do it. We know that it takes 10 to 14 follow-ups.
12 contacts. 12 contacts to get someone to respond is the average.
Yeah.
Which I get it. 12 is a lot. And Kathy knows that I'm probably
about 2.
I'm not probably making 12 contacts. You know what? These MFs need to make some effort toward me too. And but I'm in a little bit different place than you are in my business. Is that, I'm God's gift to real estate. Everybody should want to work with me. No, just kidding. But the thing is that, but that's why I'm very particular about, well, let me ask another question. What information do you ask for at the open house? And then my second question would be is, do you just do it by traditional paper? Or do you have a QR code? How do you do that? What information do you ask for first?
The information I have on my
Sign-in
sign-up
sheet.
sheet are the names, address, and email, and then where you have are you represented by a realtor? There's a checkbox if yes or no. And when you say no, I will now introduce myself, give out my card, and give them the talk of I'll be available if you're interested in buying this property, and I'll have them registered, and I'll be registering you in my website so you can receive updates of properties coming into market. So
So,
general introduction is the next thing I will do. That's when I hand my card to any person that is coming that way. I've closed two from open houses, but the ones that I get ghosted out is what I probably they are not ready. In my mind, I conclude I might be wrong that they are not ready to buy yet because I reach out, I get aggressive in follow-ups, not just like every day, every other day. Every other
good.
day contacts, and when I do that for up to like 6, 7, 8 times, no response, I feel like I'm bothering them.
Yep. So the first thing I would do is it's a numbers game. So just be aware it's a numbers game. It's just like with internet leads, traditional conversion rates on internet leads. So overall, like Google pay per click and stuff like that's 1%. Zillow, like when we were paying $400 a lead. Those are probably somewhere between 4 and 10%. But an open house should be a higher conversion. So, but what I would always recommend doing is when I say numbers game is that CRM is the lifeblood of your business. So you're doing exactly right. Every time you do an open house, make sure those are all going into that database and that CRM. Every time you meet someone, that should go in that CRM. But the next thing that I would do is and Kathy can probably speak about this better than I do, but I tell people um, split them up into 4 groups. Split all your contacts and people into 4 groups. One would be A type buyers, which are going to, someone that could potentially transact with you within like 3 months. And then B buyers would be uh th- B buyers would be 3 months to maybe 9 months, or maybe even to a year. C is going to be 12 months, and then D buyers. I mean, but the ones you want to key on are the ones that you have had conversations with, and you're working with them currently. The thing I would do with the last 2 groups is I would put them on AI. And I know Lofty has a great AI, and I wouldn't even be spending a whole lot of time on those ones that are unresponsive. I'd put them on a drip campaign or a AI driven stage, meaning that they get contacted by AI, and it looks like it's coming from you just as much as if you pick up the phone or text. The other aspect of all this too is that most people aren't going to answer their phone. So I think calling is one of the worst ways to connect with people these days. Um, Initially, when you're first trying to connect with someone, I would do all 3. I would call, I would text, and I would email. Okay. But if they have not responded to a call after maybe 2 weeks, I would be putting them on a drip campaign that's AI generated and having AI contact them, or by email. And I know as myself personally, the best way to connect with me would be by email, which I'm in the minority in that. Next would be text. Third would be phone. So Kathy, why don't you give your thoughts on that?
Couple thoughts there is the part. I mean, if you're grabbing them with and asking them for all that information right up front, um, have you made any connection with them, like Dave talked about? And I'm thrilled that you've done 2 deals from um, open houses. That's great. But that connection, they're not going to, um, you know, feel warm and fuzzy towards you if all you really said to them is, please sign in. Do you have an agent? Oh, now I can talk to you because you don't. Right. So it's this, there's a lot of personality that goes into doing open houses. As you know, Dave's got a little bit larger than life personality, so it works very well for him. Um, he so that's my first comment is making a real connection with someone, as opposed to collecting information. Two is yes, you mean you are going to make attempts. You don't know how people want to be communicated with. And I mean, you wait for a week, these people may be on vacation. They may not, there's a million reasons that people don't respond to you instantly. One, are you giving them a reason to respond? Are you giving them something that they care about, something of value, not just saying, hey, did you like that house? So when you do that, and Dave talks about, holding a little bit back, maybe seller's disclosure, stuff like that, to work that up a little bit better, but give them something, give them a reason to respond. Um,
So one of the things we talk about is doing like holdbacks or something like that. So first, let me address something. Is if you came at me and said, I wrote my stuff in, no, I'm not working with a realtor, and you kind of go, well, Dave, let me put you on a multiple listing search, and I'll put you in there, put your name and contact and stuff like that. I got no warm fuzzies by that. I got nothing that would make me want to work with you by you telling me that. As opposed to, man, Vic, so Vixen, I see that you're not working with a realtor currently. So how long have you been looking, dude? Have you been looking for, I mean, did you just start looking? Is this the kind of area you're looking at? Tell me a little bit more about what you're looking for. Or actually, you know what? I wouldn't even do it to begin with. What I would be doing is I would just let you go through, and because if I'm looking at the thing and going, oh, he's not working with the realtor, pumps. That's a turn off. Oh my God, my camera. Boom. I moved too quickly. My cat-like reflexes.
I got to tell you one thing, time out. He doesn't actually sound like that. He doesn't go, hey, dude, look. He really doesn't. He is. So relax on that.
Well,
but,
again, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but
yes.
So what I would do though is I would let them walk through the property. There was a reason why they're at the property. Something appealed to them. Then, as they're coming down or from the stairs and go, so what do you? I mean, what did you think about the master? That big, huge walk-in closet. What did you think of that? The balcony off the master that overlooked that area. What's your thoughts on that? And hey, don't miss the finished basement, and because I think there's a lot of really nice square footage down there and things like that. Take a look at that, and then I engage them a little bit, but just asking leading questions. And then when they're done with their thing with their walkthrough, because I'm not following them around. Because if you follow me around, I'll tell you to. Anyways, so and then I'll just kind of go, what do you think? And then they'll tell you, the master bedroom was a little small. I mean, and the bathroom wasn't updated and stuff. And so, and then I'll say, well, what about but the basement was good and things like that. And I'll say, well, there's a couple different places around where there's some active listings that, that have more updated. I mean, it's probably gonna be a little bit more money. That might have a little bit more private lot. I mean, would it be helpful if I sent you some listings that I think might fit some of the things that you're talking about? But in order to get to that point, you have to ask them questions. So you didn't like the size of the bedroom, so they're looking for more square footage. They didn't like, the fact that it needs updating, so that goes into the database. They may say something about the location, and then what our job is to provide solutions. So, hey, you know what, Vixen? I know of a couple other condos that are on the market, and I was looking online because I always look at online before I go to an open house of everything that's currently on the market, and that I think might be a better fit for you. Would you like me to send those to you? Okay. And then the other part that I do is like a holdback. So like I don't bring, I may have seller's disclosures or something like that. and I may know the answer to how old is the furnace, but I may say, you know what? I'm not exactly sure, but what I can do is I can email the seller's disclosures to you and find out the age of the furnace um, after the open house. Once I get back to my home office, I can send that to you. Would you like me to do that? And what I'm asking for is I'm asking permission to be able to contact them. I want to do it on their terms. Oh, Dave, that would be wonderful. Thank you. And if it's something like, how the roof doesn't have it on the disclosure, I'm going to try to find out the age of the roof. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm saying these are things that I can provide you if you decide to have me as your agent, but I'm not asking them to be their agent yet. I'm just kind of showing them this is what I can do. Okay. And I hate to say it, but it's going to be driven by whether they have a connection with you right then and there. And if you can't make the connection, they are going to ignore your calls and your emails and things like that.
Okay, time out before I kick you. Christine had a comment and was sort of along the lines of what I was saying about why people go to open houses. And yet they don't even have a clue. Some people just driving down the street and stop because they see a sign. They're like, oh, this is pretty. Let's look at this house. Maybe it's got some good decorating tips even, or this is twice the size of my house. I'm never going to get in to look at a house like this if I don't take this chance. People are going to open houses for dramatically different
It may be
reasons.
for decorating ideas.
Yep, that's, for a million different reasons. They're just getting an idea of what's out there a lot of times. So, completely, Christine, and we talked about that a little bit. Again, I want to talk a little bit about Dave and his ABCD because he uses some terminology that we came up with through the sales ranks. Drip campaigns as we don't talk drip campaigns. We talk action plans in our new CRMs and stuff like that. You can create all the action plans you want. You can have AI create action plans. It's so cool. I have something I want to tell you that AI did for me this week because it is so amazing. But you can go out if you like ChatGPT. ChatGPT knows me really well now, so I don't I was looking for something else completely off topic. And I said, "Cause you're a realtor, this might interest you." I'm like, whoa. Anyway. Action plans, put people that are in, and we don't do ABC so much, but it's the same concept. You're either actively engaged with them, they're looking at houses with you. I'm thinking of the Zillow kind of stages that are in Lofty, or they're being nurtured. And those nurtured people, you will be shocked how long some of these people will hang out there until they see something and hear something. And when they think of real estate, because we've nurtured them consistently for the last few years.
Oh, we've
got some from 15 years ago.
We've had people have engaged and actually bought something after 10 years of engagement. So it's something that's kind of, and most of us are probably thinking, I don't want to. That sounds like a lot of work to engage with someone for 10 years. We don't do a thing. We at this point have probably over 40,000 leads in our CRM, right? And we do the same thing with our database that, we're telling you that you may want to think about with yours. And it's something that, again, that's going to be the advantage of the AI is going to be the fact that it now can make it sound exactly like you and actually sometimes better than you. And so Vixen, one of the things that have you ever had it where someone has a problem with your accent? Do you ever have a problem with that at all? Has someone ever said something like that?
No.
Okay. We've got some clients. Kathy was just telling me yesterday, she had got a client yesterday and she was having a hard time communicating over the phone. And so she went to text. And so, so these are different things that we always want to find out what's the communication preference with the other people as well. and I'm really big into that because I know I'm sensitive to how people communicate with me. I'll always ask them, how would you like me to communicate with you? And I will say that at an open house if I start developing that rapport. But one point that I want to make on open houses is I'm probably one of the worst people to talk to about converting people from open houses because sometimes I don't use an open house sheet. I have one there, but as much as we're looking for them, well, we want them to work with us. I'm making the decision of whether I want to work with them because I'll have some people that come in. It's like, hell's no, I don't want to work with that person. And I don't try to collect their information. So what I'm trying to do is when I do have a great connection with somebody, I'm trying to really just go uh, trying to nurture that, have a great conversation. And I almost to the extent where other people who I don't have a connection with, I'm not doing anything with. Christine, question.
Yeah, so what would you say are your best tools for lead generation?
So
Like your
so
top 5 favorite
believe it or
things.
not, top five. So
Yeah.
number one would be open houses. Oh, actually, I take that back. No, 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 no. Number one will always be and should always be for every single realtor your center of influence. Your the people that you know and trust that know and trust you that want to do business with you. Okay, 100%. That's probably 70% of our business is our SOI, either sphere of influence or center of influence. Number two for me personally is open houses. I'm just better with people in front of them than I am on a phone or anything else. Third would be geographical farming, meaning that there's certain areas that we go and and we just consistently send information out there. How I got really going in this business was open houses, and I had a geographical farm where I ended up listing 88 of the first 100 resales in the neighborhood from geographical farming. Fourth would be paid leads. I hate to say it. Zillow. We've all we I didn't start paying for leads until I was in the business 20, 22 years, 23 years. And then we started trying Zillow and we were converting Zillow leads at over a 10% clip. Obviously that has changed. But Zillow is still a large amount of our leads. I shouldn't say a large amount of the non-SOI. But so definitely center of influence, open houses, geographical farming, paid leads. And then what would you say would be the fifth one?
Probably, I hate to say social media.
Yeah, well, in
It
social
comes from the internet.
So we've one of the things that we've always done a pretty good job of is so you see in the back of us, can you see the DMA real estate behind us?
No, your head's in the way.
That's our brand. Okay. So we're consistent. We're consistent about having that. And we have, as Kathy will do, is just as far as our colors and things like this. This is our brand,
Can't you tell?
right? So what we're really good at doing is everything we send out. So our signs, our open house signs. We have a big ass sign out in front of our office to help with our branding. There's a lot of different things that we do, and we're consistent with our brand. And so, what I consider that all that kind of stuff is branding. And one of the biggest mistakes I see young realtors making is not figuring out what their brand is. And the reason I can say that, we've had 3 iterations of brand. Originally, it was David Mueller. Then it was David Mueller and Associates. Then it was DMA Real Estate. And the reason for going to DMA Real Estate is one day I want our business to be where someone shows up for DMA Real Estate and it's not David Mueller. Whereas when it was David Mueller and Associates, they're like, oh, so I'm getting B and C. I'm not getting the man. I'm not getting the Dave. That was the reason. But I wish I had been smarter and thought about branding when I was first starting the business, because we have lost business each time we rebranded. So
So would you say you do a lot of networking? Like if you're just at the barber shop or like the grocery store, you just talk to strangers at the gym.
that's 100% the best. We also have
I do.
we
Me
so
too.
so you're gonna laugh at this, but guess what I am?
He's an introvert. He doesn't like to talk to people in shopping stores.
I'm an introvert. So and you would go, no chance, no way. Yep. When I'm not, I have got a 2 hour, 3 hour battery. For those 2 or 3 hours, I am on, and I am like, you would never guess that I was an introvert. When I go home, I crash, and I don't want to deal with another human being, and maybe a dog. But that makes it tougher. The best business you can get is doing networking, going, and we've got a sphere of influence a question asked, and it's basically it's just asking who are people that you might know that may want to do business with you, your mechanic, your hairdresser, um, and just go through and ask you questions to help you fill your center of influence. But if you're more of a social person, 100, and ask me what my worst quality is that same thing. The easiest business to get is the networking stuff. I don't go out and do it because I don't have it.
I would say I'm kind of like you too. I'm not an introvert. I usually just don't care to talk to people. But now I understand,
Sounds very
no,
familiar.
That's
I need
it.
to, I need to go say hi to some stranger, like compliment them, find something in common, which usually I would never care to do.
But
That's I'm not gonna. I am so bad because I am never like put people into these Gen X and all that crud.
Like
This-
I don't let myself leave the gym unless I said something to someone.
well, but that
That's fantastic. I talk to
Yeah.
everybody, so obviously you and I are a little different, but there's what you've grown up with is a different way of communicating. So for you, this is going to be a stretch. But in my head, um, I can talk to somebody in the grocery store
hmm
that I don't know faster than I can talk to, um, some people that are closer to me, even my neighbors. I don't talk about real estate with my neighbors. I don't need to, but sometimes it's easier to reach out to somebody you don't know
Yeah.
completely. But you're in the gym, and as long as this is go back because we talked about this last week. Go get yourself some swag to wear to the gym. I'm not
seriously,
kidding.
seriously.
What swag?
What swag?
So like,
Put your brand on a
yeah.
t-shirt.
Uh,
I get stopped in the grocery store twice a week because I have a DMA real estate jacket on.
really?
Yep.
And I do that. Like I've got dress shirts that have it on. So like in the spring, summer, my logo's on everything. My partner, she gets on my case because she's like, oh, don't wear a DMA branded thing out to dinner tonight, for our date night. And I'll say, no, nah, it's paying for our date night, so it's
Yeah.
with us.
That's
But I've got my winter jackets, my vest, my everything, baseball hats, all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because what you want in my license plate is ISELHMZ, which is I sell homes.
You have to work on it.
You have to look at it, but
If you have
it's
to
Yeah.
sit behind it,
yeah.
it's
But
not
if you
fine.
look at it, it's ISEL, so I sell, then homes HMZ, and I'll get people to stop me and they'll go, "You sell Hummers? You sell?" And I go, "Oh no, I sell homes." Oh, you're a
Like stickers on
realtor.
your car.
Yeah, yep. And you're a realtor. Oh, what's the market doing? So it's a conversation starter. Now,
One thing, because he says he doesn't talk to people. The one place he does talk to people,
because he has this great need to talk to people in restaurants about real estate, is waitresses, because he thinks they make great realtors, which is probably true, even though I could never be a waitress. I'd be throwing food at people. But I love, Christine, that you are actually stopping in the gym
Yeah.
people who are like you. And that's got to be tough. I mean, it's not easy to just go up and say, hey, I'm in, and introduce yourself. You don't know where you're going to make a great connection. And then, and it will eventually come up if you make a connection. Oh gosh, what do you do? Oh, what do I do? I'm going to work to do this, or I got to go to my office, and you just,
Yeah, I
other
got
people,
the
and it's
idea
just the
from,
best.
yeah, I got the idea from Ryan Serhant, something like
Oh yeah.
the two C's, like compliment and common. So you want to compliment someone, like a genuine compliment, and then find something in common.
Yep.
And then
That's
you
what we
build
do at
up.
open
In,
houses.
in that,
Yeah.
in the networking aspect, so one of the things that I did a few years ago, when you bring up gym, right,
Yeah.
is I had a full home gym in my house, okay? But I went and got a gym membership at Liberty, so that I could network with other people that had a similar interest. I don't have a lot of interests outside real estate. And so, but that working out was one of the ones that I had. So I wanted, and that's the other thing too, is if there's certain things that you do, let's say you like antiquing, or you like thrifting, or you like
Golf,
yeah,
soccer,
join
whatever.
join a league, do that kind of stuff, because people do want to do business with people that have similar interests to them. It's a connection. It's just like when I try to make that connection with somebody, I try not to even bring into real estate. Like maybe it's a car thing. Maybe it's and the other part that I try to do, I call it the 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Is I can usually connect somebody to one of my family members. I'm one of 12 children, born and raised in Ann Arbor. So I can usually connect somebody to someone that I know, or someone that
Yeah.
my kids know, to try to create that familiarity. Okay. And then that just leads, like when I held this one open house, I said, I would start with, I grew up literally 100 yards from here, the Packard condo. I literally grew up 100 yards from here. I know this neighborhood like the back of my hand. I used to ride my bike where this complex used to be, I mean, where is now. But making those connections, and I call it the 7 degrees of, or 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon, that is a big joke about how you can always connect people back. Always try to make those connections. You know what? Hey, well, we've got this connection, so we should work together, is the kind of what we're trying to
That's what you
send
do.
out telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you from, Kristen?
I'm from Chicago, but I work in like the North Shore suburbs. You guys are in Michigan?
Yes.
Suburbs. What?
Yeah.
What's the North Shore suburb? What do they count? What are they?
Northbrook, Riverwoods, Deerfield.
It's like I have a brother that lives in North Barrington,
Oh, really?
Lake Zurich.
Yeah. Yeah, that's close.
My nieces went to Lake Zurich High School. I was curious because people say, you know, when you say the North Shore suburb, I'm like, okay, sure. Is it for me, if it's not by an ice skating rink, I don't know. So that's where my world came from. But that's the other thing, is that's how I did a lot of business, was what my kids were into, and you're probably not there yet, but actually you're probably my niece's ages, but I've been trying.
I'm 20.
Oh, yay. Wow. Cool. That's
Yeah.
great. I've been trying to get my niece into real estate. I think she'd be mind-boggling at it. So,
Are you two related?
Hell no.
yeah, I'm the short runt of the family. No, we are not.
We're,
Nor
we're,
are we a couple, which people ask us all
we're,
the time.
No.
we're related. We're related by the fact that I call her my work wife,
Uh-huh. And what happens
which my
when you call
partner
me that?
doesn't, which my partner does not appreciate.
Nor do I, but that's okay.
We've known each other we've worked together for 25 years.
And
Yeah.
do you guys have an Instagram account?
So my personal one is Real DMA Dave. So at Real DMA Dave. And then I think what is our
Or just DMA real estate.
well, I think it's MI.
Oh yeah, because we had to.
So yeah, my personal
Oops.
is which we run all of our business stuff. We're really probably putting all of our business stuff through my personal more than anything else. But it's
Okay.
Real DMA Dave, REAL DMA DAVE. And it's kind
Yeah,
of like
I just followed it.
thanks. We'll follow you back.
Thanks.
Then Kathy's is
It's
she
just
has to
different.
look it up.
No, somebody just sent me something that I can't ignore. Mine's just Catherine Foyer.
But the fact you said you're 20,
Yes.
so people always ask me what's the my number one regret in real estate, and it is I wish I'd started it younger. I started at the age of between 27 and 28. So and my only regret is I wish I'd started it
What
younger.
made you start it?
So I had finished my degree. So unfortunately or fortunately, so I ended up selling shoes at Jacques Panay. I hate salespeople with a passion, and I did not want to go into any type of sales. And then I was working at J.C. Penney's to get through college, and then someone asked me to go to the shoe department to sell shoes, and I said I don't want to do that. I can't stand sales. Don't want to do commission sales. Anyways, they said try it for 2 weeks, right? And then if you don't like it, go back. And then when I got my first paycheck, it was like 5 or 6 times what my hourly rate was. Then I ended up being one of the top 5 salespeople in the company, working 30 hours a week, which was part time back then. And that's what kind of got me thinking about sales. I finished my degree. I was making so much money selling shoes. I ended up staying for a couple of years. And one of my good clients who comes in and buys 20, 30 pairs at a time was a realtor.
Wow.
And I actually I got into business after I bought my first house. And so I ended up a year later, she encouraged me to go start it, and I did. So 33 years later, like I said, it's never felt like a job. And
That's good.
it's a cool job, and the old joke about realtors is they don't ever retire, they just become listless. So I'm probably going to have to do this forever, which is so my advice to everybody is make sure you make smart marriage choices, so you don't have to work forever. David did not, so I will be doing this for forever in eternity.
But you love it.
It's not a job. And well, let me put it this way: I'd be doing it whether I had to or not. So when I say that I'm an introvert, my social part of life comes from the real estate part. So I get my social part from
Yeah.
the real estate, and just love helping people. And to this day, it's just as much of an honor when I get a listing that someone is entrusting the largest financial asset they have with me. I get just as giddy today as I did 33 years ago.
That's amazing. Yeah.
What other questions can we answer? As you can tell, we like to talk.
My
I can
main
tell
thing
you
was
this
just
really cool. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I don't really have anything.
I have this really cool thing I did this week. I'm really excited to tell somebody. And it was the same thing like doing your Christine, you have a CRM, right?
Pardon?
You have a CRM, a contact management system.
I'm new, so I just
Well,
set
that's
it
fine.
up. Yeah.
Just
I
sign
have-
up with Lofty.
I'm on Lofty.
Cool. So same thing. So I spent months creating these really cool action plans.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, when we first started. And then a little bit ago, I was told, just do this in AI. So, I mean, all you're doing is asking questions. You're telling it, could you please write this and blah, blah, and you know, Lord knows I'm a realtor. But this past week, and I don't know that we do a lot of this, but if you can stop and think about this. We had somebody that wanted to do a land contract. And if you're not familiar with land contracts, I hope you never have to do one. I hope our market never gets to that point. That we did, but I literally did a full land contract addendum, amortization schedule, all of the financial terms, all I did. And then granted, I know a little bit more about land contracts than most of you all do. And literally asked it to do the questions. So if you get yourself into a jam about data, you get yourself into a jam about what are my next steps for maybe marketing, or what can I do for this area, and you can feed it MLS data. You can do so much stuff with it that isn't just, what's the best restaurant in Ann Arbor kind of stuff. So, but you learn to be really specific. And if I could say the $20 I spend now, probably one of the best spent $20 is to get a paid Chat GPT, and it knows everything. It's learned how I sound. I tell it, you just tell it what you want it to do, but having it do this whole land contract for me just blew me away. And then, of course, the nice guy said, I don't think I want to do a land contract. We've been trying to talk him out of it the whole time, because it's not a very good approach to buying a house at this point, but better that he gets his credit fixed and stuff. But it's that smart. It can make those kind of things for you. It can work through your contract terms. If you're having a hard time thinking about how you're going to write an offer, maybe it's competitive, ask ChatGPT, in this is my scenario, how would you write this? It'll help you. It knows way more than we could possibly ever. I mean, wouldn't you like to just tap into Ryan Serhant's head? Right? I mean, well, and he's so handsome. Sorry, lost my mind there.
That's a sexist statement.
No, it wasn't. It was the truth. It was just reality, Dave. But I mean, just into his head, and that's his stuff is out there being collected, and AI is pulling his information from everywhere too. So, I just think it's worth really learning. I actually took a course over the holidays from Corsiv, Corsiv. And they tell you, go hide for a month. You didn't need to. It's just things you can do with AI that you just don't even have a concept of.
Are you doing social media, Christine?
Yes.
How often are you posting? What type of content?
So I'm posting advice, and I post, yeah, like just real estate advice, like to buyers or sellers. And then I post a reel once a week. I'm thinking of doing 2 a week though. And then I post stories, and then I'm trying to start filming like house tours.
There's people that build big businesses by just doing house tours, and
Yeah.
then, just getting permission from. And one of the things you could do too is, depending on if you get any pushback from local realtors. I mean, I would go, if depending, obviously check with any real agents that have listings in your area. Start with that, then go outside other companies and say, hey, do you mind if I do a video tour of you? But always ask permission.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And then the other thing would be is the new construction, some new construction subdivisions or things like that, especially ones where they don't have much of a social media presence, is, hey, would you mind if I do some walkthrough tours of your models and your floor plans and post those on social media? And then that also kills two birds with one stone. And if you're going to them and being proactive in advertising their product, that might also open up some avenues for you down the road as well. But there are some people at Real that just went out and did new construction, and they pretty much, there's a gentleman out of Texas, and he won't even take non-new construction stuff. And refers that all out, but that's what he did. And he just does house tours. And
Hmm.
he's doing about 50 million a year.
Wow.
Yep. Just by doing house tours.
Find you. I'm gonna find you.
Yeah, you definitely have to show people the houses so they see that you have options to give them and you have listings and let them know that you're active, basically.
So it's the other part though too is we have a lot of people that do a lot of social media, and then I'll just kind of go, wow, they're all over social media, and I'll look and see, you know, if they've done any transactions and not so the things that you want, then the next part you want to do is this is a listing based business. So the hardest part when you first get started is trying to get listings
Yeah.
because most of any one of us, when we first started, we mainly worked with buyers. But if you can get listings, listings are the key to this business because you can take a listing and then you're just talking about they want to see homes, they want to see listings, and so we are on social media started to we thought I thought I could just come in and take social media by storm and just people would want to listen to what I had to say because I had a bigger opinion of myself than other people did. And no one really gave a shit of what I knew is what I found out. And so what we redid our social media that we now just send out our listings and just information and it's but the funny thing about social media is there's a million ways to do it well or to do it right, but the big thing is doing it consistently. And at your age, you're going to have an advantage because majority of the people in your age group, that's how they've, first of all, grown up with communicating, text and social media and things like that. DMing, it took me a long time to figure out what a DM was. And then people like jumping into your DMs. I had to Google that, what jumping into someone's DM meant. But most of the people I mean, we're the Facebook crowd. That's how we communicate is Facebook.
Facebook is harder to grow on, though.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the type of content. So our avatar is probably more our age.
Well, people.
We have a tendency to get along really well with people our age and older. And so, and then, we throw our stuff on TikTok, we throw our stuff on Instagram, but that's not really probably our target market. But we have to be there when we're advertising and marketing because you have to be there. And then YouTube is the way, if you really want to get a big business, it's going to be YouTube, 100%. That's how you're going to actually get business from real estate. TikTok and Instagram, take YouTube content, cut it down, put it on these, other platforms. But people our age, they don't want to see that. But we know that we need to be there. And the other part too is for us to even be relevant, we have to be on those platforms as well. But our avatar is not the younger generation. So
I'm working on that. I'm working on
I mean, that's the thing. You have
my
to
kids'
post
friends.
your kids what?
My kids' friends. That's my next
Oh, yeah.
area.
I mean, the thing is, you have to post content that everyone is going to watch, not just people interested in real estate. Like, that's why I also try to film skits, like like a real estate related skit
Yeah.
that everyone could find funny.
well, we did
one.
we did one where I was I set up a showing for a property and then the person didn't show. And I went through my temper tantrum and mannerisms and things like that. And kind of just, it was kind of basically, hey, people, if you set up a showing, show up for it and it basically said,
Yeah.
it was kind of like, Dave got a call. Dave goes to show the property. Betty doesn't show up.
Yeah, yeah.
Dave is pissed. Dave missed his daughter's or his granddaughter's recital to show this property.
In the snow.
Dave texts Betty, You
Did
did,
it do well?
Was that? It actually did well. Yes.
Yeah,
People
'cause it's
have got a
fun.
big.
It did
Yeah.
very well. It's something you have. Here's part of our dilemma. The majority of the people we know and follow us and do stuff are realtors. You will find this. Our friends are realtors. We've been in this business so long that it's just a bunch of realtors going, oh, that's hysterical. Because that's who's our friend on Facebook.
But
So that's my mission is to get out of that.
Well, do you have the same Facebook account for your personal and your business, or is it separate?
We have
separate, but we get a much better response from the personal than we do from the business one. So just like on the Instagram, we were running two separate Instagram accounts, and the personal one got so much. I mean, I only have like 350 followers, which I'm not. I run social media just so people know I'm alive, that I'm not dead yet. And that's really what we do for a lot of our social media is just like, oh, Dave's still in the business. Because a lot of our, like we talked about, most of our business is center of influence and things like that, which is a good place to be because we don't have to scramble for clients like when you first get started. You're pimping yourself out so many different ways to get a client when you first get started. We're past that point to a certain degree, even though there's some months when I got to go to the gym because I'm gonna have to pimp myself out and look good on this, that. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that happens sometimes as well. But you know, you want to look at this as the long haul. There's no short term way to become successful in this business. You have to look at it long term and look at strategically. But we both know the number one word to run a big business in a business for a long time. There's one word that sums it all up. Consistency.
I hate when he gives me quizzes because
And the other part that drives me batty, and we're guilty of it as well, is realtors will spend all this money on all the silver objects and all, the latest thing that's going to get you that buyer or those leads for no money and stuff like that. And they start spending money on Zillow and all these other things. And they've got this center of influence that they ignore. And that's going to always be the best business. And we're guilty of it sometimes too. But I know people say, don't buy leads and you're renting your business. It's like, oh, shut the because I don't care how you get business in a client and you put them in a database, whether it's organic or whether you pay for it. That one Zillow lead that I paid, $200 for that has done 10 deals with me, who the hell cares whether it was paid for or not? And
at this point,
and now we were doing Zillow back when we got 300 leads for $10,000, right? But the thing is that I don't care how you get business. To have people to work with is the key to this business. And if you can do it organically and you can set up a YouTube channel and you can get 1 million views on your stuff, good for you. And that's wonderful. And that's the way to do it. But most of us aren't going to do it that way. So my number one advice to any realtor is find out what you enjoy doing within real estate, because there's a million ways to become successful at real estate. There's a million ways to lead generate, right? Find one or two. And first find one that you enjoy doing and then go to the wall and do it really, really well and get business from it. Master that. And you can have a successful business on one successful lead generation technique. Find one, be consistent, do it well, and then once you master it, find a second one. But I only do the stuff I enjoy. I love doing open houses. I love doing geographical farming because I'm not really calling the people on my geographical farming. Mine's probably more of a spray and pray, meaning that I send it out consistently in the same places. But 5 years ago, we would send out a mailing within my city. We'd send it to the whole city, 9,000 people, right? It's a whole village. It's a village, but it's where I live. And we would send 9,300 pieces out. It would cost me $3,000 to do it. And I would consistently get 3 to 5 listings every time I sent out a mailing.
Wow.
Would you spend, if you gave me if you gave me $3,000 and I gave you back 20,000, would you accept that trade? You know, I love it because I don't have to call and bug them and stuff like that. The longest thing, and don't ever send this to a coach or something. My philosophy is have them call me. Why should I be calling them? Have them call me.
Cold calling.
Yeah, I mean, we've done it, and we've done circle prospecting, and she will hold it over my head because I did it one day and got 5 $300,000 or 5 $400,000 listings. But
gosh, you won't do it again. I don't understand.
Yeah.
If somebody takes 4 phone calls and they give you 5 listings, you want to
don't use that same on me.
Don't
But
sell on the ticket.
the point of this is just find one thing you enjoy doing. So if you like doing social media, do it, but you're going to have to post 2 or 3 times a day. You're going to have to post 2 or 3 times a day to get your brand going. And you're going to have to do YouTube, and you're going to have to do Instagram and TikTok. Can you do it?
I'll see.
There's not a whole, I mean, it doesn't cost a whole lot to do it. It's your time. But
It's your job.
But make sure you got your brand down. Make sure you know your brand and what your brand looks like. And make sure you have a logo of what your brand is. Get on Fiverr, have them develop or get with people that you know that are in the marketing field or a family member, something like that, saying, I want to get my brand together. Whether it's Christine Rumpel Real Estate or whether it's CR Real Estate or, you know,
Or K.
or you know, K Rumpel.
You know what that is? That's crumple. We don't want to
I
do
mean,
that.
Crumple. That could be your thing. Crumple Real Estate. No? All right. But what I'm saying is find out what that brand is, and that's what you're going to be advertising, not yourself. It's your brand. And if you've never heard my Kleenex thing, is that eventually what you want to do is become the Kleenex of realtors in your area. And what I mean by that is when you blow your nose, what do you blow your nose with?
Kleenex.
No, you don't.
Tissue.
Yes. You use Kleenex because they've done such a great job branding their brand. So every time you think of facial tissue, you think of Kleenex. So thank you for making there you go. Thank you for making my point for me, because most people don't do it, but yeah, but the point of that is, so when someone thinks about buying or selling in the area that you do business in, you want them thinking about Christine. And you want at least to have an appointment in the door. Or Vixen up in your area, you want them thinking about, I need to call Vixen. And then, so the question comes down to, how do I become that brand where they have to call me? And what we've done is a strategic approach of geographical farming. We get a listing and we send a mailing out in the neighborhood. Then they see your sign. Then they see the open house. Then they see the social media stuff. Then they see the Zillow showcase. And then when we sell it, we make sure we put a sold sign on there. Then we send out a just sold afterwards. And so they're getting your brand a bunch of different ways consistently. And then you get another listing from the just sold. And then you do it again. And then the third time. And then now you become the expert, the neighborhood expert. And then now they go, well, this Mueller dude keeps selling shit in our neighborhood. I guess we need to call him when we think about buying or selling. And ultimately, that's the key to this game, this business, is that they're calling you because you've been successful in the area. You've branded it correctly. You celebrated your successes with just solds. That's when my business took off. I struggled for 6 months to a year, but then put some things together, then put that stuff together. I hand wrote my first just sold cards. I still have a callus on my finger from 33 years ago doing that. I just hand wrote them all out. Got 2 listings from doing that. So I went from no sales to having 2 weeks where I sold 5 houses in a 2-week period
Wow.
after 2 months of no sales. And then generate those listings into more listings. And then, you know,
The key is to remember back when he wrote them, there was no other way to do it.
we didn't have
That was it.
we didn't have the social media and things like that.
That's it.
We didn't have cell phones when I first did it.
Internet, really. So,
Yeah, Al Gore had not invented it yet, the internet. But he has no idea who Al Gore is probably.
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing. Anything else, Dave? You would
I don't
like
think-
to
is there-
pontificate about?
Does it really come across as pontification?
No, only to me
And-
because I've heard it before.
Any other questions that you have? And then Kathy's going to put both of our email addresses in here. And then feel free. We're those types that we just love. Well, I should speak for myself. I love talking about real estate all the time. So if you've got a question or something like that, feel free to. I mean, you can Google me and find all the phone numbers and stuff, but email is a great way. Hey, Dave, I got a question. Can we talk or something like that? Or you can send an email. But anything that we can do to facilitate your businesses,
Or you
don't-
can slide into his DMs.
what is that?
It just
I
means
don't DM, do I?
Just means DM someone. Direct
So-
message.
Well,
It's
DM
not-
is direct message. So do you DM for both TikTok and Instagram and things like that? Or
It's
what
not-
all
is
about
a direct
TikTok. I don't
message?
even
Is it for a particular platform?
DM is specifically for Instagram.
DM is Instagram.
Yeah. But like you could use it on you could use the term DM on any platform though, because it just means direct message.
Yeah, you can.
So even
direct-
Facebook where they have Messenger,
Yeah.
is that a
It's just
DM?
Messenger.
Technically, yeah.
It's a direct message.
But like
But-
it started from Instagram.
But isn't slide in kind of a derogatory term? Or no?
That's your old.
No. Well, that's why we have Christina, she can,
I mean, usually if you say slide into my DM, you're like flirting.
oh.
So don't say that. I mean, you
So
can.
don't
but
say slide into DM.
no.
All right.
Leave me
I just
DM.
saw it on TikTok. I was watching something, they talked about sliding into a DM.
There's some whole comedy skit that somebody did talking about that. So yeah, it wasn't clean.
I have a question.
Sure.
The question is about a client I recently was nurtured to buy property. He works night shift. So at the point when I wanted to show him a house he's now interested in looking at, I sent him the normal traditional agreement. And he said he doesn't feel comfortable signing this agreement while he has not seen the house.
Just do a touring agreement. Which basically just allows you to be able to show him that particular property. Just you don't need to do exclusive buyer agency contract. Just do a touring agreement when people are a little standoffish, and that gives you the opportunity to meet them in person and try to connect. And that's another part that they're basically telling you if they're not willing to do an exclusive buyer agency contract, I'm not comfortable yet. And so it's kind of, again, it's just like dating. You need to get to that point where you got that vibe kind of going on where you want to work with each other. So I would just do a touring agreement. Just they're on the website or on our state site, but just say, hey, I have to by law. I have to have this touring agreement. But just be aware that if he ends up buying it, then you go to exclusive buyer agency contract. But I would try to get belly to belly, face to face with someone. So I would just do a touring agreement. Okay.
Okay.
And then go to an exclusive buyer agency contract after that. But yeah, I would always try to get an EBA. But if they're not willing to do it, do a touring agreement. Absolutely. But get face to face.
You're just not there yet. So.
Yep. you're still in the dating phase. You haven't gone to boyfriend, girlfriend yet. So, so just that's just like any other relationship building. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? Well, we appreciate everyone getting on, and then we do this every week on Thursday at 11 a.m. and we prefer this type of thing rather than a large group of people that just kind of sit back, and we prefer to answer the questions and what you have going on in your business. We feel it's much more effective.
But please feel free if you have something you really want to hear about.
If there's a topic,
We'll do it.
shoot us an email. Hey, we'd love to have this particular topic. Okay. Fantastic. Well, thanks everybody.
Nice meeting
Thank
you
you.
guys.
You
Nice
as
meeting
well.
too.
Have a
Have a
good
great day.
Bye bye.